All right. Well, hello, everyone. I'm Debz Shakti. Thank you for joining us today. I'm really excited about doing this in this way. I am starting using a new platform for me. It's StreamYard, and it will be the one that I use for my Hidden Variables podcast. This is kind of a test run, actually, for me on this platform. Sadly, when we're doing Zoom, I can see all of you and we can interact verbally. With StreamYard, it is going to be going to my YouTube Live, which is what you're probably watching it on, or some other social media platforms if it's working. I have no idea if it's working yet or not. I don't have a moderator, so it's just little me. But I am so excited to be with all of you tonight, or this morning, or in the middle of the night, as some of my international friends are tagging in right now. Can you all hear me fine? If you will, somebody just give me a thumbs up in the chat. That would be great. I am really, really happy to be here too. And my goodness, kia ora, Jeremy Cloak, my beautiful cosmic brother in New Zealand. Jennifer and Jessica are in Spain. We have Council of Nine, I think, from Costa Rica. So many people are signing in now. Lori Rosenfield. I'm so great. Thank you. I'm so grateful to all you. Thanks, Jeremy, for letting me know that it sounds fine. It's been a while since I've done a live broadcast with everyone and offered a live experience. Life has been very, as my good friend Amy Casey has always said, life is abundantly full. And it's just taken a lot of twists and turns this year, as I'm sure it has for all of you. So I'm not going to go into details, but just know that there's a lot that's been going on. There's a lot that's getting ready to happen. So many good things in my life, and I hope in yours as well. And if there have been some bumps and jumps and crazy stuff happening, sometimes things are confusing, maybe even frightening during your journey this year and in the coming days, months, and years. This practice will help so much. It helps me, and I hope it will help you. Some of you are veterans to this work, although it continues to evolve. So be prepared to have a brand new experience, even if you've been with me for years and years and decades. The basis of this practice is to allow you to shut out the world that you're currently in and currently focused on, and just kind of go inward. And when we do that, we're going to do some practices tonight to get you prepared so that you can be in that great flow state and really enjoy yourself to the max and also have the maximum benefits. Because when you can get into a beautiful flow state, like the theta brainwave state, with some a little bit of breath work, a little bit of guided quantum hypnosis, a meditative state, you're going to find yourself able to access the all that is, the quantum field. If you want to bring it into a science perspective, the quantum field holds all information that ever was, is, and will be, because it's all happening at once, forever in the same place, if you can fathom that. But if you want to be a little bit more spiritually oriented, you could call it the Akashic Records or the mind of God or the cosmic mind, the all it is. You exist in every facet of creation, basically. And because you do, even though you're focused on this particular one most of the time, some of you are great masters who are on here, by the way. So I'm really, really grateful that you're here and honored and humbled. But for some of you who haven't really experienced that for yourselves, my hope, wish, and prayer is that you will experience it tonight. And we are going to do a little self-programming so that you can get there by yourself anytime you like. And that is part of my mission. You know, my mission is, number one, to ensure everyone's well-being who I work with. And number two is to teach you how to do what we're doing so that you don't need a guide, so that you can be your own guide, because that's the best. Having the direct experience of guiding yourself in and around the quantum field to all the infinite realities that you exist within and that create is such a valuable tool. So, having said that, I just want to say thank you once again. I will remind everybody I don't have a moderator, and so I will not be, answering in the chats. And once we get started on in the practice, until the practice is over, I'm not going to verbally respond to anything in the chats either. But afterwards, if you want to have a little Q&A or a little visit, I am so happy to do it that way. Dan K. Schrader, my brother, thank you so much for being here. You've been doing such good work yourself with all the crystal skull meditations and all of your healing meditations that you've been offering online. You're such an inspiration to me. Thanks so much for being here. I see Penny Coons, Navi Rose, Lori Rosenfeld. My goodness, just so many great people here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so I don't waste a lot of your time because you're here to have an experience and not listen to me gab on about, I could jabber on about quantum physics, neuroscience, and yoga techniques for the rest of the year, and we wouldn't even scratch the surface of what I want to talk about. But you're here to have the direct experience, and so we're going to go directly into that. I will say, again, because this is a new platform for me, and I am using a lot of new equipment, I am unable to play the music behind the guided journey that I wanted to play because I don't have the right cable. So I thought I did, and it was sounding okay, but then it started giving a bunch of crazy sound artifacts, and I don't want that to take you out of your meditation, out of the hypnosis state. So we're going to do it like I do it in my sessions, which is without music. And you're just going to pay attention to the sound of my voice once we get into that state and let it guide you. And pretty soon you're going to realize the real truth of the matter, and that is you're guiding yourself. Everything that happens in this session is coming from you. You guys are just using my vocal cords and translating what's coming from the higher levels of your being through, the education that I have and the practice. But basically, it's all coming from you anyway. So be prepared to give yourself a wonderful experience. Let's take one more look here. Oh, Steve, it's so nice to see you too. Steve is a wonderful person from San Francisco that I am so honored to have here. So what is quantum jumping? For those of you who are veterans, I apologize. I'm going to just give a tiny little overview. Quantum jumping is a form of quantum hypnosis. It can be done and is really well done when you do it with yourself, once you learn how to do it, and you will tonight. What we're going to do, though, is apply some of the quantum hypnosis techniques that I've developed with other things that I have learned over the years, over the many, many years of being a yogi, 50 plus years of being a yogi and a yoga teacher, over 40 years of working as a therapist and a hypnotherapist. And so we blend a lot of things besides the clinical here. And we're also going to do some neuroscience as well, which is really fun because we're going to get your nervous system and all of the things that are happening in your physical body more aligned with what's happening in your energy body, which is the template for everything. It's where everything begins. Okay. So, what I want you to do is make sure that you have a comfortable space where you're not going to be disturbed. I think I put all this in the description, but just a little review. It's nice to maybe have a tissue or two in case your nose gets stopped up. And know that we are going to do tonight a very gentle breathing practice and a little bit of using our voice to align our bodies with our energy bodies, with our spirit. And so it's interesting work. We're not going to do anything real crazy. Some of you who've been my students and clients for a long time know I can really get into a lot of the heavy breath work and all the powerful, transformational stuff. Tonight, what we're going to do, no matter what time it is for you guys, I know, like for Jeremy and some folks overseas, it's in the daytime. For Jennifer and Jessica in Spain, it's 2 a.m. So we're not going to really rev up your nervous system with heavy breath work. We're going to get into a rhythmic breathing pattern, and we're going to relax the body while you listen to the sound of my voice. And then we're just going to ease in to a very beautiful guided journey. Now, what makes this different from a quantum hypnosis session with me is that when you're in a quantum hypnosis session, I guide you into the experience, and then you start narrating what you are experiencing back to me. And that's a very powerful thing. Sometimes people just can't believe what happens and what comes out of their mouths when they're in these sessions, but they're describing their experiences, and it's a very powerful thing. But this is equally as powerful. It's just more internal. I'm going to guide you in. You're going to have some very deep periods of quiet space where you can have the experience, and you're going to be given a cue to remember everything that you encounter vividly, so that afterwards you can talk about it, you can journal it, record it for yourself or something. But it's very powerful to have this internal experience. When we're doing this in groups, it's pretty obvious we're not going to have everybody talking at once saying what's happening, right? And a lot of it is too private. So we want to do it this way. We're going to do a little bit of breath work. As I said, a little bit of using the voice with what yogis call mantra. It's a sound. And why do we want to do this? Because our bodies, even though they are, they look like skin and hair and, tissues and stuff, deep inside every bit of our DNA, in all of our cells, there are tiny little crystals. And the biggest concentration of these crystals is located at the top center of the brain in a very tiny little gland called the pineal gland. What the yogis have known for since ancient times, pre-human history, actually, I believe all this is coming from, our otherworldly ancestors. But the pineal gland is literally a radio transceiver, or I like to call it the cosmic satellite dish. It literally is packed with these tiny little crystals. And when we do the practices that we're going to do here to prepare ourselves, it's going to activate it. It's going to turn it on, and it's going to clear it from any kind of detritus that might be blocking its receptivity. And it's also going to help you feel really good. The pineal gland also, once it's activated, starts to elicit certain hormonal cocktails into your body to help you do whatever it is that you're doing. It reinforces what you're doing. In this case, we want to get very relaxed, very focused, and we want to have an extraordinary holistic experience: visuals, audio, smell, taste, sounds, all of these things very vividly. And so it's going to release certain chemical compounds into your body safely with the perfect prescription for you so that you will have that kind of an experience. You'll feel very relaxed. You'll feel a sense of love. You'll feel a sense of joy, peace, harmony, and connection, which is our goal. We want to feel the oneness of all life. So I hope that you will participate in the practices and not just kind of wait for the guided meditation part, okay, the guided hypnosis. Hi, Jen Doral, my girlfriend, my good friend, Karaoke Ghost Hunter. Thank you for being here. Okay, so having said that, I want you to be in a place where you can relax. You can do this sitting up. You can do this lying down. If you're in a place that's pretty brightly lit, you might want to cover your eyes with like a little blindfold, a little eye mask, eye pillow, hand towel, something. Not everybody needs that. I prefer it when I do this work myself, but you don't have to. I highly recommend that, you're in a place where you're not going to be disturbed, and just enjoy. And if you are a person who has really high blood pressure, if you are near-term pregnancy, if you have a migraine right now, or you have a lot of sinus stuff going on, the breath work might not be for you. You can try it. Again, it's a gentle one. But if you start to feel not right, if you start to get a headache, or you start to feel like you can't breathe or whatever, then just stop and follow as best as you can with your breath in a normal rhythm. But try to get in a rhythm and just listen to what we're saying, okay? Otherwise, we'll begin. And thank you all for being here once again. And again, I do apologize, there's no music. So we're going to use the music of the spheres, or as some people call, the voice of the stars tonight. Your imagination, which is the key to everything. I got sidetracked. I was talking about the crystals in the pineal gland. When we do the practices we're going to breathe. And then for those of you who feel resonant with it, we're going to either take a deep breath in or blow all the air out and hold our breath for a while and squeeze. And I want you to squeeze your pelvic floor muscles upward, your belly button in towards your spine, and just squeeze your body. When you do this, it squeezes the spinal fluid up from the root part of your body, the root chakra, all the way up the spine, and it goes up to that pineal gland, and it puts pressure. And when you apply a lot of pressure to a lot of crystals, they all start to vibrate. And when they all start vibrating at the same rate of oscillation, they start to become coherent. And that is how everything electronic that we have in our society now works, off of crystals being pressurized or electrified. It creates electrical current, an electromagnetic current actually, and it sends out signals and it receives signals very easily. So I hope you'll enjoy this if you're new to this practice, and I hope you'll super enjoy it if you're not. So we'll get started. So if you will, everyone, get very comfortable. Again, you can do this seated as long as your spine is nice and straight. The crown of the head is lifting towards the sky, and the tailbone is dropping towards the ground. If you're seated in a chair or a couch or something like that, if your feet can touch the floor, that's helpful as well. If you prefer to sit in an easy pose, a yogic pose, that's fine too. Or if you're on a cushion, absolutely fine. If you're lying down, it might be helpful to have something under your knees so that your low back doesn't hurt. and maybe even a pillow under your head, but it's not necessary. But arms down by the sides if you're lying down, maybe hands in the lap or on the thighs if you're seated. And what we're going to do is we're going to use an eye movement. It's a very simple one. We do a plethora of eye movements in the regular sessions, but tonight we're just going to use one, and it's very simple. You're just going to look up while your face is straight ahead. Okay, so look up with your eyes. Keep your eyes lifted and gently relax your eyelids closed while you're looking up. And everyone take a nice deep breath in while the eyes are looking up. Through the nose if possible. And you can open your mouth and let your breath out. And you can let your eyes rest back where they belong. Now keep the eyes gently closed. And then let's just scan the body as you're starting to watch your breath going in and out nice and deep. Notice if your shoulders are tight or your wrists are tight. Especially notice if your jaws are tight or if you have a tightness or a scrunchiness between your eyebrows. Let everything relax. Just let it relax. And feel like there's just a kind of a warm wave. Oh yeah, a warm wave of thick liquid light coming through the crown of the head and pouring into every facet of your being, all the way down through the head, around the ears, around the eyes, the nose, the mouth, relaxing the tongue, down into the throat and the neck. Oh, yes. Take another breath or so and let that warm liquid flow down through the shoulders. Let the shoulders roll down and back and open your heart. Let that beautiful liquid light flow down through the arms, the wrists, into the hands and the fingers, and see some of it shooting out of your fingertips, out into the universe. And as you continue to just breathe nice and slow, nice and deep, allow that warm liquid light, that crystalline light, to flow into the heart center, into your chest and your upper back, relaxing, releasing, just letting go of anything that that light can attach to and wash away from your being. That something might be, anger or frustration of what happened today, or, old pain, sickness, whatever. Just let this light begin to travel down the body, into the trunk of the body, into all of the organs, the systems, the glands, muscles, the tissues, the bones, through all the ribs, down the spine, into the mid back and into the mid abdomen, solar plexus. Feel it swirling around there and relaxing and releasing any tightness, tension, or pain there. And then let it flow down into the lower abdomen, the lower back, into the hips and the pelvis, and feel that deep release, that deep, deep, deep relaxation. Let yourself relax more and more. Just listening to the sound of my voice, we're just going to go deeper and deeper. Down into your backside and into the front of the hips and down the legs, through the bones, the muscles, the tissues, into the joints, lighting it up and again, attaching to anything that is no longer needed or wanted there, and pulling it down through the legs, into the ankles, into the feet, and out the toes, just like it's shooting out your fingertips. Now see it shooting out the toe tips as well, maybe even out of your tailbone. Anything that is no longer serving you, even if you're not aware of what that is, intend that it is washing away right now. Oh, that's good. And as it does, just let your body relax where it is. And with the eyes closed, we're just going to begin a little bit of breath work. And this breath is very simple. It is just a 4-4 count. We'll be breathing in through the nose for 4. And we'll open the mouth lightly and let the jaw relax. And we're going to breathe out with a count of 4. You can either breathe out with a sigh like, ah, or you can breathe out through pursed lips like this, whatever feels best for you. We're going to continue to do this for a couple of minutes. And as you do, I want you to continuously just focus on that count and on that breath. And breathe as deeply and fully as you can, and exhale as fully as you can, but not forcefully. Just let it happen. So here we go. Enjoy this ride with the breath. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. In, 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 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Continue in this way. 4 beats in, 4 beats out. And as you breathe, don't get caught up on the count. Just get in the rhythm. Let it be fluid. Let it be easy. Let it be relaxing. With each breath in for 4 beats and each breath out for 4 beats, you are literally activating all of these beneficial elements that we spoke about earlier. And then just as you're breathing in this rhythm, pulling in that beautiful oxygen and getting rid of all of the things that are holding you back or causing resistance when you exhale, listening to the sound of my voice to guide you even deeper. Because the deeper you go, the deeper you dive within to the self, the more magic you're going to experience, and magic you will experience. Keep breathing, because the breath is the bridge between the physical and the spiritual or the quantum. Continue your breath nice and easy. Take this moment to flood your body with oxygen and other very beneficial nutrients. Let yourself go into the place of automatic self-care. We're no longer in a place of fight and fright and flight. We are gaining access to the place of relaxation and creativity and unconditional love, which brings harmony and oneness, which is your real state. As you continue to breathe in this way, you may start to feel a little tingling in your fingers or arms or toes. Don't let that dissuade you. Allow yourself to continue, and if it gets to be a little too much, ease off a little bit, or rest and breathe normally. But come back to it. Get back to it. It's important that you learn this. We have, in our society, forgotten how to use the breath properly. When you're breathing in this way, you are allowing the parasympathetic nervous system to take over. And that is a beautiful thing. Everything works on automatic pilot in its most optimized way, in a balanced way. And it allows everything in your brain to free up all that space in that onboard computer so that it can actively begin searching out the experiences that it needs and the information and the abundance that it desires. Take one more full round. And now on the exhale, I want you to just hold your breath. Exhale fully. Hold your breath and pull up on the pelvic floor muscles, pull the belly button in, but stay relaxed. Maybe even drop your head a little. Now, this may feel very uncomfortable for some of you. Don't panic. Let yourself go a little past your comfort zone. And then if you need to, take a sip or two of breath like this and let yourself relax again. Just for another moment. And then everyone, without opening your eyes, take a huge inhale. And again, hold the breath, lock it in, pressurize, bring everything up, in, and squeeze, 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 squeeze. See that little pineal gland lighting up in the top of your head. And again, without opening your eyes, let the breath out. And if you like, you could let it out with a sound. And come back to your normal breathing. Eyes closed, staying relaxed. Take note of how you're feeling. You may be feeling a little bit strange because of that odd combination of chemicals that's moving through your body, the main one being oxygen, something that you don't get very often in that degree. Rest and breathe. Good. Excellent. You're doing very well. Very, very well. And staying very relaxed. Now we're going to do one more breath, and it's a very simple one, but it's a very balancing and focusing one. It's called the sipping breath. Some of you might know this as straw breath. Basically, what you're going to do is make a small round shape with your mouth, as if you're sucking through a straw. And with the eyes closed, you're going to breathe in as long and deep as you can through that straw like this. And then you're going to just let the breath come out on its own until it's fully out. So this is one you're going to do at your own pace. I'm not going to count you, but keep in a rhythm. Notice as you breathe in, you might hear a sound of the wind, and it might feel cool coming into your mouth. But as you allow the breath to leave the body, it's very quiet, almost imperceptibly quiet. And you feel warmth or heat leaving the body. Again, that heat is the stuff that we need to let go of. Resistance creates friction, and friction creates heat. So continue on with sipping breath at your own pace, listening to the sound of your breath. And as you do, just listen to the breath, listen to the sound of my voice, and allow yourself to go even more deeply into peace, into relaxation. Let your body really, really relax, even if you're new to this. When you can relax, things start to happen. The magic begins to form. When you're not relaxed, when you're tense, again, tension causes resistance, and resistance causes pushback. What you want is flow. Continue to breathe. And release everything as you exhale. And as you breathe in, you're allowing yourself to pull in all the necessities for the journey. It's like packing your backpack when you go for a long hike. And as you're letting that breath go, you're letting go or emptying the backpack of all the things that are too heavy to carry. Past wounds, grudges, negative impressions, especially negative self-impressions and criticisms. Feel a sense of deep peace, but also a burgeoning sense of excitement because we're getting ready to take this journey. Just a few minutes. You're allowing all of the files in your brain to relax enough to reassemble themselves in an organized and super functional fashion. Let that happen. Trust that it's happening. And that you are putting into your emotional backpack everything you need for the journey. And then no matter where you are in the breath pattern, everybody take a deep breath in through the nose. Hold the breath and squeeze and pull up and in. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze every part of the body. Squeeze tight, tight. And send that energy up the spine, up into the brain, up into the pineal gland. Feel a shining light there as those crystals start to become coherent. And then when you can't hold your breath anymore, let it out, maybe with another tone. And then just be silent. You can breathe here. Allow the breath to breathe you. Some of you may find that you don't need to breathe yet, that you're into the astral breathing. And that's fine too. Beautiful. And now we're going to go into the guided portion of the journey. You should be coherent now. Now we're going to not just be coherent within ourselves, we're going to be in the part of the journey where we become coherent with each other. Because make no mistake, those of you who are here live or at any time in time listening to this broadcast and practicing with us, your energy is becoming coherent with everyone else who is doing this. We're going to link our hearts. We're going to link our energy in a way that is so super beneficial for everyone involved. No one will be left behind. So taking your breath the way you need to take it, getting comfortable. I'd like for you to now listen to the sound of my voice as I begin to narrate a little bit of a journey. And this journey is so beautiful. What my words may be saying, you may be experiencing in a whole different way, and that is fine because everyone is unique. Everybody's journey is custom created for themselves. So if you're not visualizing or hearing or tasting or smelling what I'm describing, don't feel bad. See, explore what you're getting and do that. It's all good. And remember that the deeper you go, the more relaxed you are, the more you're able to connect with the hearts of all the people, of all the beings who are here, practicing together, helping each other through this experience. And please know that they're not just human factors here at work. There are many, many interdimensional extraterrestrial, ultra-terrestrial, angelic, whatever. All forms of consciousness are now joining us for this journey. And they're all here to help you have the best experience and the best outcome. So see yourself in a beautiful forest. The temperature is just right, and the day is beautiful. And even though it is broad daylight in the forest, it's still very muted as far as the light in many places because this forest is ancient. And even though this may be the first time you remember being here, you've been here many, many times. For this is your domain. This is your creation. And as you walk gently through the forest, you take in the beauty, the immense beauty of this place. You breathe in and you smell the good evergreen smells of the trees, and you may smell the earthy pungency of leaves and pine needles on the forest floor as your feet gently crunch through all of the elements of the forest floor. Maybe you're barefoot and you feel what you're walking on, and you allow it to not be painful, but a sensual experience. But you hear the sounds of your feet gently moving through pine needles, twigs, leaves, rocks. You smell the good earth in a way you've never smelled it before. Take a deep breath in. The fresh air is clean and crisp, and yet you smell a million different elements, flowers, trees, the air. And so walk gently through the forest on a beautiful path. And this path is laden with gorgeous, colorful flowers, plants. You hear the sounds of birds beautifully singing in an orchestrated fashion. Each has their own voice, and yet they make up a beautiful symphony. Along with the breeze, the branches creaking in the wind. And every so often you see a glimpse of a ray of sunlight coming through. And when it hits the forest floor, it's like throwing a rock into a still lake. Ripples of light are extending out from the center of where this ray of light is hitting the floor. And through the ripples, you see spherical objects of many colors, colors you've never imagined before, coming up from the forest floor. These spheres, these orbs, they're all conscious forms. This is something you may not have ever encountered in a forest before, or maybe you have, but they're always there, ignited by the light. And you feel a deep sense of love for this place, for nature, for life, for beauty. And you're in a sense of wonder at this beautiful scene, these bubbles of light floating up from the ripples that are caused by the ray of the sun hitting the forest floor. And you continue to move on along the path, and some of these orbs follow you or dance around you, almost like little insects. You notice that There are dragonflies and fireflies, maybe, in the deep parts of the forest. You hear the chittering of squirrels, of chipmunks, other creatures. And as you breathe in and continue to walk and take in all the beauty and all the smells and the sounds, you notice around you there are gorgeous green, glossy leafed bushes with beautifully colored berries. And they're very attractive, and you stop and give yourself permission to just reach out and pick a few of the berries. Feel the leaves, feel the stems, and then pull those berries and have some in your hand. Take a few moments to gaze at the berries, the beautiful colors of them. Each of you will see a different kind of berry, or maybe a combination of some, but they're all beautiful. Perfect, perfectly ripe. Bring your hand up to your nose with the berries and smell the rich, spicy sweetness of them. And then, knowing that it's perfectly safe and beneficial for you, place the berries in your mouth and crunch down on them with your teeth and savor the juice. What does it taste like? Is it sweet? Is it tart? Is it a mixture? Let the juice roll around in your mouth and through every part of your mouth and then down your throat. And as you swallow, feel your entire body relaxing 1,000% more deeply and feeling more and more alive and aware of the gentle, perfect nuances of this enchanted place. Oh, it feels so good to be here. To be here because this is your reality. This is your home. In a chaotic world just outside this forest, the world can be going crazy, but all you have to do is step in and breathe it in and listen and feel it and taste it and smell it. And you continue on the path, and pretty soon you hear a little bit of a chittering, and you see a tiny little creature, little chipmunk coming towards you. You bend down and you place your hand on the ground, palm up, and it climbs right into your palm. And you bring it up. You feel its soft, furry warmth in your palm. It's completely safe, and it feels completely safe with you. You feel its little heart beating in the palm of your hand. And you place the palm of your hand with this little creature next to your heart. And you feel great love for it as it looks up into your eyes and you look into its eyes. You feel a sense of kinship with this creature. And then you bring it up to the side of your face and you feel its velvety, soft fur against your cheek. And it nuzzles your cheek and makes a little sound that tells you that it trusts you and loves you, and that it's glad you're here. Bring it back down to your heart and just take your other hand and just stroke the fur and pet it, love it. Feel how nice it is to love something that doesn't need anything from you and you don't need anything from it. Just love it. That's right. And then as you're ready, just gently place it back on the ground, maybe on a little pile of leaves or pine needles. And gently let it go. And again, as you're walking, notice the majesty of the trees. These trees are, some of them, very ancient. Some are brand new, little tiny saplings and seedlings, but pick out a very ancient tree, one that is gigantic, towering above the others and blocking out most of the light. See this tree and know that it is way too large for you to place your arms around it and find your hands on the other side. But you approach the tree and you feel its energy and you send it love and appreciation for all its hard work providing oxygen and nourishment and beauty to our world. And you go up close to the tree and you do wrap your arms around it. Perhaps your tree has smooth bark. Place your cheek against it and feel the difference between the chipmunk and the tree. Perhaps your tree has rugged, ragged bark with sap that is very pungent, flowing between the cracks. Take note of how it feels. But connect with this tree. And as you do, send it gratitude for everything that it's done and everything it will do. And feel the love that's emanating from this tree, because it's drawing not just the love from its own being, but from the earth itself, up through its roots and into your body, into your energy field, through its trunk. It's as if its branches are enfolding you in a hug. And you feel so gently relaxed and peaceful and protected here. And then you get a sense that it's time to release the embrace, and you move back. And as you do, you notice there's a doorway in the tree. You didn't see it before. How interesting. As you gaze at this tree, this enormous trunk, you begin to see a doorway really becoming visible. And the tree beckons you. In its own language, it telepathically connects with you and tells you, this is your entry point. This is your entry point into the all that is, the quantum field. If you are ready to go exploring, to go someplace where you're going to connect with a higher version of yourself, a quantum twin that lives the kind of life you want to live, have no fear and enter here. And so once you see that doorway, that portal forming in the tree, each of you will have a different experience, but reach out. How does it open? Is there a handle? Is there a knob? Is there a secret button? Or does the doorway just shimmer away and you see that there's a vortex there? A portal, a stargate for you to enter. Don't enter quite yet. I want you to gaze at it and breathe it in. Feel the love and the protection of the tree. And then you notice the little orbs are back. Right here at the entry point. Notice all the colors. How shining, how brilliant, how gorgeous they are. one seems more interesting or fascinating than the others, invite it to come and be with you. Do this now. And as your orb comes very close to you, it becomes very large and it encases you inside itself. And this will be part of your transport system through the quantum field. This orb is the vehicle of your consciousness, if you will. Maybe you want to call it a spacecraft. Maybe you want to call it a sphere, whatever. Try not to label anything. Try not to judge or analyze anything. Just feel, experience. Now that you are encased, enveloped in the warm, inviting environment of this orb, just floating in the middle of it, the energy of it begins to invoke happy, loving memories. Let them come. Allow yourself to pull in the happiest memories you've ever had without any analysis or forethought. Maybe it's a memory of the first time you smelled puppy breath. Maybe it's the first time someone said, "I love you," to you. Maybe it's a time when you felt super victorious or successful or filled with excitement. Maybe it's a time of playfulness. Let a flood of these memories come into this orb with you. And don't just view them, but feel them. Taste them, smell them, hear them, vibrate with them. Until the orb is so full of all of this light. Take a few more moments to fill the orb and your heart with this love, this joy, this excitement. Excellent. And now you're ready. Before we go in, I want you to program yourself to feel this height of deep love, of pleasure, of joy, of fascination, of excitement. Keep that vibrational state, that emotional state, that feeling state high. And then when you have it, place the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth and let this be your programming tool. And say to yourself internally, every time I do this action, tip of the tongue, roof of the mouth, I flood myself with these feelings. And they become more and more powerful. The vibrational state becomes more and more amplified. And that is good. Now release the tongue back in the bowl of the mouth. And I'm going to count down from 1 to 3. And when I hit 3, your orb, by your command, with your feelings, is going to jump through that entry point and travel swiftly and safely and most harmoniously through the quantum field. And I'll guide you through. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. The orb jumps in, carrying you and all your beautiful feelings, and it swirls through. It swirls through the void, through the quantum field, and you see trillions of other orbs also flowing around. Streams of light. You realize this is a transit system. This is eternity. This is the way everyone moves about in their dreams, in their out-of-body experiences, in their astral travels, in their near-death experiences, in their meditations, and in this work. Consciously moving through, zipping by all these other orbs and streams of light until you see a glimmer somewhere that's very attractive to you, that catches your sight. See it over there. And as you focus on it, your orb moves toward it and pops out through the other side into the most perfect environment you can imagine. The orb dissolves away, although it doesn't really. It just kind of goes out of your sphere of recognition for a while, waiting like a patient guard dog until it's time to travel again. But for now, you find yourself in the most beautiful environment you've ever seen. This high-level space where your soul loves to reside, where it loves to create and loves to come back, is made of living, breathing, liquid crystalline light. Everything looks solid, but it's breathing, it's moving, it's living, it's consciousness. This is the seat of your soul. And it is here where your higher self resides and lives in a very beautiful, harmonious accord with everyone else's version of the higher self. Which is really just one being, but it's more fun to have company. So as you gaze around, you might see structures, you might see entities, you might see plant forms or animal forms, or no forms at all. Maybe you see rays of light, balls of light, colors, waves. But allow yourself now to let some of them coalesce into gorgeous crystalline structures. Almost transparent, but flashing with some of the most beautiful prismatic colors you've ever seen, ever witnessed. And in the center, as you begin to move through this environment that feels so charged with peace, with grace, you begin to see something that looks like a giant dome made of crystal. And standing outside of that dome is your higher self, and it may look like you, perhaps in a more perfected form. It may have a completely different form, but in this experience, allow it to have 2 arms, 2 legs, a head, a torso, so that you can relate to it a little better. Perhaps it doesn't have any facial features, maybe it does, but see it, and it is made of liquid crystal light too, beaming with gorgeous energy. Fascinating. And you feel a pull towards this being as it graciously opens its arms to you and welcomes you. It takes you by the hand and indicates for you to walk right through the wall with it. And with no resistance, no question at all, you trust your higher self. You move through the outer wall, through the membrane of liquid crystal light, into the most beautiful chamber you've ever seen. Its purity is beyond compare. And again, you see colors and hear sounds you've never heard before. The interesting thing is, as your companion leads you into the center of this chamber, you notice that you can taste the colors. You can smell the sounds. You can touch the fragrances. And they're all things that are your favorites. They bring back, again, those memories of love, of happiness, of peace, of connection. And your friend beckons to you in the center of this beautiful chamber, filled with crystal light, to sit down on something that looks kind of like a big puff, a big pillow. It is also made of this beautiful material that is both physical and non-physical. And as you sit down together, you face each other. Your friend indicates it's time to merge so that you can be downloaded with the essence of the resources, the information, the healing, the ideas, the technology that you need to have this kind of perfect unity experience in your life, the current life reality where you live. That may sound outlandish, but this is a very, very powerful technique. And it works. And so, as you're sitting on this very comfortable giant cushion of liquid crystal light, staring deeply into the eyes of the higher level of your being, you place your right hand on your heart, and you reach out and you place your left hand where its heart should be. And it does the same. Its left hand covering your right, touching your heart, and your right covering its left, touching its heart. And you feel suddenly so relaxed that your eyes close. And you feel as if you are becoming one with this connection. And you are. You always have been, but now you realize the connection. It's like a two-way system of communication, but not just communication, of complete sharing, of complete communion. You begin to feel a gentle mist of comfort, of peace, of warmth, of joy enveloping you both. It's almost as if you are in a cocoon now, with this beautiful higher level of your being. And you begin to feel waves of light and life flowing between you. Maybe these waves even take on different colors and forms. Let go and experience this fully. Merge with this higher self and allow there to be an interchange of information and all that is needed, reprogramming you in your current life and you feeding it information from your current life so that it can move further and farther as well. This is an equal and reciprocal exchange. Begin to notice that you're hearing the music of the spheres, but you're experiencing it through all your senses, even senses you didn't know you had. And feel your hearts becoming one, your minds becoming one, and merge completely into each other as these waves envelop you. You hear the stars singing through the crystal. Allow yourself to be in this merging. You may ask any questions of the higher self. You may ask for healing. You may ask for upgrading. You may offer whatever you want to offer as well. Enjoy this merging, this dance of everlasting love and harmony. And when it's time, I will call you back. Enjoy. If there's any rewiring that needs to be done in your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, even causal bodies, if there's any balancing that needs to be done throughout your energy or physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, or causal bodies, allow it to happen spontaneously, perfectly, and most harmoniously. Feel yourself electrified and yet so peaceful, knowing that you have received the codes, the light codes that you needed into your own crystalline elements of your own person, the one who resides in third dimensional earth life. Knowing that you will bring those codes back and you will begin to live in a more purposeful, loving, unconditional, loving way. Knowing that the diversity of life is not to be feared or resented or hidden from in even your world. This is the key to bringing the coherency. Feel love for all. Be grateful for all. And trust that it all is important and fitting together in a special way that will bring a perfect outcome for each and every being, which is each and every part of yourself. For though it feels like where you usually exist in your focus, there's so much divisiveness and individuality. You're really all just facets of the same jewel. You're all just very unique and divine and important pieces of the same puzzle. You just can't see the full picture from your vantage point back in that life. But here you get that sense of unification, of perfection. That is your true nature. Lock this in. Lock this in right now. Again, engage that programming tool. We call it the Bhaga Mudra. Tip of the tongue, roof of the mouth, and program yourself to remember. 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 You are all part of the oneness. And that it is not beneficial to judge another part of yourself or blame another part of yourself, but to trust that the part of yourself you're focused on in each and every moment is making the right decisions and living the best and the most perfect way that you can, realizing that everyone is doing the best they can with what they have in each and every moment, and that makes up the perfection. And remember that no matter what you see when you go back to your home, it's just surface, illusory impressions of what is real. And what is real is all is love. All is in coherence. All is unity. And all is divine. Once you've locked that in, just allow yourself to savor for a few more moments this peace, this love, this awakening. Awakening to the fact that you are unlimited, that you are infinite, that you have access to everything you need whenever you need it. All you need to do is relax and get out of judgment, get out of finger pointing, and start acting from that best part of yourself to do the greatest, the highest, and the most harmonious good. And you will affect change no matter where you are for the better. Now it's time to become more of your individuated self again. And so you pull back, you disconnect physically from your quantum twin, your higher level self, and you're still floating here on this pillow in this beautiful mist of radiant colored light, prismatic waves of comfort and joy. And in deep gratitude, you reach into your heart and you pull out a gift without any forethought or any analysis. Just pull out a gift. And with a bow of thanks, you hand it to your higher self. And they receive it and put it into their heart for safekeeping. Do that now. And then your companion beckons for you to come up. You give each other a big hug and you turn, and there is your orb waiting in front of the entry point to the field. You say your goodbyes, but know that it is not goodbye. You can visit anytime you like by just engaging that Bhaga Mudra, getting into the feeling state, and intending that you'll come back here or go wherever you wish. It's an open-ended transit system, remember, and it's all within you. Now, gently floating in your orb, facing the entry point, I'll count you up from 3 to 1. And when I say 1, your orb will jump through, containing you and all that you've gained, into the field, and you'll begin the journey home. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. In you go, zipping through eternity, seeing again all of the other orbs of consciousness, the hearts of all beings that are just the different facets of you, flashing lights, waves of color and peacefulness, and hearing the music of the stars, zipping through eternity, and eventually seeing that point of light that grows larger and larger, popping out on the other end, and then flowing through the forest. Once again, giving thanks for this beautiful sanctuary, breathing it in, and eventually bringing you home, bringing you back to your current reality. Remembering that as you touch down and come back into your body, staying relaxed with eyes closed, that this is just one of infinite realities that you reside in, and that you don't really jump timelines, so to speak, or ascend to new worlds. You merely attune your focus to them. And if you like what you are experiencing, you keep building on the feeling state that place, that experience is giving you. And as you sustain that focus, it becomes your new reality. Equally interesting, if you hold that energy, all of those impressions, those feelings that you had back in the higher self place, you hold them within your own vibrational state where you are in the physical world, you begin to transmit that information out through your energy field, and it begins to morph into what you want here benefiting everyone else around you. Maybe that's your purpose for being here still. Something to ponder, something to work on. So begin to come back now. Begin to feel your body coming all the way back, the bones, the muscles, the organs, the glands, the systems, and all the tissues, the hair, the teeth, the nails, the eyelashes, the skin. And feel your roots. Remember how it felt when you hugged that tree, where you felt so grounded, so rooted, so in place. Feel those roots coming out of your feet, your tailbone, and going down into the earth and soaking up the beautiful heart energy of Mother Gaia. Her resonant energy is your resonant energy. Reconnect now. And then as you begin to feel your heart beating again and hear your breath breathing, feel the temperature of the air on your skin, I'll count you up from 1 to 10. And at 10, you will be wide awake, fully energized, very relaxed, at peace, and ready to make good use of what you received in this experience. 1, 2, coming up very slowly. 3, 4, beginning to feel your form again. 5, 6, you're feeling the pulse of the earth beneath your body, the gravitational embrace of Mother Earth enfolding you in her heart center. 7, 8, you begin to awaken. 9, you wiggle your fingers and toes, you begin to stretch and yawn. And 10, open your eyes, take a deep breath in, smile. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to your new creation. What will you do with it? I can't wait to see what comes next. Thank you so much. So do take all the time you need to come all the way back. Some people, it takes a while, because that was a pretty deep journey, and I could feel all of you. It was wonderful. Some of you shared your impressions with me telepathically, and I loved it, and I feel so connected to all of you. And even though our time is about up that I originally said for the meeting, if anybody would like to chat afterwards, again, we can't do it verbally on this platform, but you can ask questions or make comments in the chat for a while. And then when it's time, I will bless all of you. In fact, I'll bless all of you now in case you have to leave. Thank you for staying with me. And by the way, thank you so much. If you heard a loud snoring in the background for the first half of the journey, because my giant dog broke into the room, and he's always very, very attracted to the energy and feels like he has to give his part too. So he was the drone music in the background, if you will. So I hope it didn't disturb you, but thank you for putting up with it. All right. Sabine, thank you for joining us. Ellen, thank you. It's so nice to see you here. Amy Dorsey, thank you for the hearts. Ellen put all these little beautiful colored orbs in her comment. So beautiful. I love those orbs. I travel in them all the time. And, you know, when we do CE5 and we go out and look up at the stars and we see orbs, and or perhaps we experience them like I'm experiencing some in my room now, it's really gratifying to know that they are conscious beings and they're part of us. and we're sharing ourselves with each other. It's gorgeous. So, oh, hi, Tim Mothman. It's so good to see you. And Craig. Oh, you guys, this is so wonderful to see so many friends. Hugs and kisses to you too, Ellen. Does anybody have any questions or do you want to share anything? I know it's a little bit hard to type it all out here. So just, let me know if you have any questions. And then also, too, know that this is something that I love to do. I'll be doing it again probably in a few weeks, maybe, near the holidays when things might start to get a little bit out of kilter again. We'll come back into coherence again, and I hope you'll join us. Did anybody have a weird experience? Oh, hi, Victor. Oh, my goodness. It's so good to see you, Lord. So many good friends tonight. Smart Free Spirit says, I fell asleep for a short bit. Well, you might feel like you fell asleep, but you didn't. You just went into a deep state, and you got exactly what you needed. And know that you will, it'll be very beneficial to you. You just came out of analysis, basically. And Jeremy, thank you so much, my brother, all the way from New Zealand. It's so good to see you here. Thank you for taking time out of your day to be here. I know you're super busy. I just, you're a great master, and I love that you're here. And Julana, oh my goodness, I haven't talked to you in so long. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, your creature was a rainbow or unicorn. Awesome. That's beautiful. I know sometimes my higher self or my quantum twin looks sort of like the star teachers, kind of humanoid, but faceless, but transparent, but just beautiful. And sometimes it's an animal, sometimes it's a rock, sometimes it's a light beam. You never know. Smart Free Spirit says, I woke up with shivers and tingling all over. It feels wonderful. I'm so glad. And please know, guys, that often great healing happens in these sessions. You are all such masters. Whether you know it or not, you would not be here tonight or today doing this with us. Even if you're, listening to this 30 years from now, you would not be here by accident. This is all on purpose, and it's happening for you in the perfect timing. And it's happening in coherence with the people who are also participating. So thank you for that. Oh, Brad, Biofuel Brad, thank you for being here. He says, well, at least it wasn't me caught snoring this time. Greetings from your northern neighbor. Brad is from Canada, and Brad comes to some of our retreats. And sometimes when we do this kind of activity, he's been known to go really deep and has some snoring too. And that's fine. It just means you're really deep. Jennifer Nenham, oh, thank you, my sister. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Debz. I always love the journeys you send me on. And I love that you're here. Thank you. Amy Dorsey says, I'm all loopy and on heart energy coherent. So thank you, all of you, and to you, Debz. Thanks to you too. I feel like $1,000,000, and I hope you enjoyed it. And just know that you all do great work. Again, this was you talking to yourselves, just using my vocal cords. The experience you had came from yourself, because we're all part of the same thing. And I hope you enjoy the picture behind me. That's kind of my interpretation. I did that through an art program, and I drew it especially for this, or created it especially for this particular experience, because it's kind of what I was given by my higher self to guide you on that journey. So if you ever want just a little turbo boost of what we experienced, just take a look at that picture. Thank you, Lori. Thanks so much, everyone. Well, I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day, no matter what time of day or night it is And please remember to take what you received and to take what you learned and take what you felt and take it out into the world. Teach it to someone else. Spread this technology around. You don't have to do all the bells and whistles that we did tonight. Just share your energy with others and be the best you can be. Let's change the world for the better. Thank you so much. Dan says, awesome, Debz. It was great. Definitely doing this again. Thank you, Dan. I love you so much. Steve, thank you. Thank you for your guidance. That was great. Jeannie vibes, I need to rewind and see what I received through my subconscious. Indeed. And I do encourage you guys to do this again. Do it whenever you want. This is a free technology, and, keep using it. The more you use it, the better it becomes, the more powerful it becomes, and the more self-aware you will become, and you'll be able to glean more of this. I highly encourage you all to take extra good care of yourselves after this, and to know that you may receive visions, you may receive very vibrant lucid dreams, lots of synchronicities in the coming days, and it's just part and parcel of the energy alchemy that's happening with this technology. So, and it is a technology. So thank you so much. And with that, I think we'll go ahead and sign off. Thank you, and highest vibes to you all, says Ellen. And I will leave all of you with my blessing, which is first and foremost, thank you for being my beautiful teachers. I learn more when I do these things than anyone else does in the group. And I want to just say thank you, and I love you, and I believe in you, and in Lakesh, I am another you. Till next time. Thanks, everyone. Good night.